Good evening to this large audience we have this evening. And welcome to the February 11th, 2015 Falmouth Conservation Commission hearing. Tonight's agenda is light, and we should move through it very quickly. First up is minutes to vote January 21st.
We did that last week.
We did that last week?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to go for February 4th.
Mr. Chairman, I read the minutes and find them substantially correct.
I do as well, but there are a few little things on page 4 that I wanted to clarify. It's just about corrections to a plan. I think
Okay.
it seems like we're asking for more than we really did,
Okay.
so,
With Mike's motion, Mary's, would that be a second?
yes.
And the corrections being handed over to Mary. Susan, is there any further discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstention? Unanimous, so moved. Next is a request to continue a hearing under a certificate of compliance. This is for 179 Bay Shore Drive, North Falmouth, Mass.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the applicant is requesting a continuance until March 4th.
So moved?
Second.
That would be Mary's motion. Also second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstention? Unanimous, so moved. Next is a continued request for hearing under a notice of intent, and this is Lot 4, Oyster Pond Road, Falmouth, Mass, for permission to construct a wooden stairway down coastal bank, build a fence and arbor with gate, add stone steps and replace stone steps with handrails, install native shrub plantings, maintain a vista corridor, and the associated clearing, excavating, grading, and landscaping. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Tom Bunker with BSS Design. You should have before you the plan that was revised February 4th. I was here 3 weeks ago. We discussed this plan, a few things, the steps within the town bicycle path right away, are sort of off the table on this. They were approved administratively previously. So what we're talking about is mainly the area, seaward of the bike path. When we talked about it before, there were a few revisions you wanted. Some of the easy ones, like there's a picket fence proposed along the top of the bank here that have a note that it will be installed the bottom of the fence will be 6 inches above the ground to allow critters to pass underneath. So we lifted that 6 inches. The area here, which had been cleared of underbrush, is now proposed to be planted. We have 450 square feet in there, plus the path here, which will be abandoned. That will be planted with the native shrub plants. And the I added in a note about the sort of the water bars and adding soil to that eroded section of the path. I just added in there, add jute netting in there to help hold it, and added somewhat paraphrased from your regulations about vista pruning, about how much can be removed at any one time. I think basically right now there's nothing to remove. That is, there's probably nothing that would be allowed to be removed because of what's open now. But that'll put limits on it. Anyway, the last issue that was brought up was that if we could make it a seasonal removable stairway. I've done that. Down the bottom, I was kind of an exploded view of it. The basis is, and then take Tom's comment to heart about not setting wood in concrete, but to have as I drawn it, a metal rail that would be permanent and set in concrete, and then I drew it up here as aluminum stairs. I could just slide down the rail and then be slid back up. I think that's the best way, but I do have in the notes, and I think it also would work, that this could be with that metal rail to provide rigidity and strength. It can be sections made out of wood, that maybe 3 sections, which would be lighter and manageable, that could still go down that rail and be removed. So I do kind of have that an option, and I have a note here, and I hope we can do it this way, that it be approved to put in seasonal removable stairs, more or less along this line, particularly with a permanent rail and the removable steps, but that we could bring in final plans after I and the Adams have talked with the contractor and worked out some real details, so that either they could be aluminum as I've drawn here, or say 3 or whatever sections of wooden steps that could work the same way. Be removed, and there'll be nothing there nothing in there for the winter that would catch waves and possibly come apart in a storm. So I hope we can do it with a little bit of leeway on getting some final plans along these lines. Take questions.
Okay, Jen,
No question.
Mike,
I think it's been addressed, no questions.
Russ.
So if you decided to go wood, would you come back to Jen and say, this is what they decided on as opposed to this, or how would we manage that?
Still
Yeah.
removable though, right?
Correct.
The
Yes.
wood part.
I have a note.
Because I mean, if we prove this plan as it is,
And
There's
and it changes, I'm just,
Yeah. Well, I have a note is these drawings are not for construction. The stairs cannot be built unless and until complete construction details are approved by the Conservation Commission staff.
that answered my question, okay, great.
Yep.
Great, put it on me, guys, thanks.
Well, you can put it on, a builder on the commission there. If
So
you
you get the
Oh,
big
no,
bucks for
I
it.
know, or somebody that lives right down the hall from me.
Right.
want. Yeah.
Good?
Good, yeah.
Mary?
no questions, thank you.
Mario?
No, no questions.
I think with that clarification, Tom, that falls right in your favor. I can understand
Yep.
the cost, the price point of this could be dramatic. So
Yep.
I think that you, pound for pound, you get your money's worth, but if it's not in the budget, it's not in the budget. So I think we have enough information.
I make a motion to close the hearing, take it under advisement.
Second?
Okay, that would be Russell's motion, Mary's second. Is there any other comments on this project from the audience? Is there any other comments on the board? Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstention? Unanimous, so moved. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
So,
Moving on, we have a continuance to March 4th for 179 Bay Shore. Other business, enforcement, request for extension regarding 62 English Street.
Yes, you remember this was the enforcement order, I'm just keeping the board apprised of the situation. You had given them an extension, the plan was due in our office today, we did not receive it, or yesterday, I'm sorry. We did receive a letter that said that on behalf of the property owner, Luke McCabe, I am requesting another extension on the time frame required to comply with the above referenced enforcement order. The requirements, which consist of the preparation of the certified plot plan and submission of mitigation restoration plan for unpermitted work on the property, was to be submitted 60 days from the issuance of the enforcement order. On January 20th, so the enforcement order was issued November 18th. It was due in our office January 18th. On January 20th, you granted them an extension until February 10th. However, again, due to weather conditions and resultant changes in everyone's work schedule, don't know what that means, and because more field work is necessary, additional time is needed. Therefore, they are requesting another extension. They do not state until when. They do not give me a time frame on when they feel that they can complete this work. And that was signed by their consultant.
Well,
The weather has been tough. I don't particularly think the weather was a factor in this. The field work was done. She met with Mark she met with Mark on the 20th of January, the consultant. Mark just basically went over what the requirements of the enforcement order were. Staff's recommendation, if the board wanted to allow another extension, is 1 month, and if we don't get anything in our office within 1 month, we'll initiate legal action.
if I can step into it, I think the 1 month extension is something on good faith here, but we don't want to be taken as fools.
1 month brings us into March.
Yeah. And
If they can, at that point, implement their plan, I want those plantings in by May.
I think that would be something that they'd have to
Yeah.
prove that to us in no later than March, at the next time that we're here. I would strongly suggest if we could correspond to them, that in this month's time, at their leisure, to have their consultant come in and just talk to us, update us, give some explanations so that what we're trying to be accommodating to them, and I realize everybody's busy, but they need to,
Okay.
we've been patient and such with others in the past, and I can see this being overwhelming to somebody who's not familiar with it. But if you're a consultant, they're going to be familiar with it, and I'd like to have an update from them.
Okay.
If anybody else has an opinion on that.
Just one question. Does the enforcement order mandate the filing of a NOI?
Restoration plan.
I'm sorry?
Restoration plan.
Okay.
They have to file a restoration plan under the enforcement
A
order, not a
conservation
notice of
plan,
intent.
not a notice of intent, okay.
Well,
Notice of intent is appealable.
the discussion has come to the point where I can take a motion.
Make a motion to grant a 30-day extension on enforcement order for 62 English Street.
With the proviso that the work be done according to Jen's schedule of having the plants in May.
What you and Mary added.
Okay.
Or we initiate legal action.
And then make that abundantly clear.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, and that way, and we are open to a visit from the consultant.
I will
That
let
could
her
be-
know.
Okay. So that's the motion and the second. Any other discussion? Call for the vote.
I guess I did.
And all for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstention? Unanimous, so moved. Thank you. And moving on, we have orders of conditions. First one up is Starfish Lane.
Form is everyone but Mari. Starfish Lane is the proposed reconstruction of the existing house. Finding is construction access has to be from Cole Road. So I don't know how else they'll get around. And that's what Tom said, that it would be from Cole Road. And special condition that they put in 4 native trees for the trees that they are removing. The trees that are within the limit of work that are being removed. Anything else?
Is there anyone, please?
Nope, that's all I have.
Yes, please.
Motion. I move to issue the order as discussed.
Second.
Made Mary's motion, Russell's second. Any further discussion?
Yep.
All right. All right, seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstention? Unanimous, so moved. Thank you. Next is 46 Point Road. This is the one with the fire pit area and blue flags. on the front.
Yeah, they're installing a patio, doing some renovations on the house, and Teresa and I met the other day and changed the plan around to add a little bit more structure on that coastal bank. So I was happy with the changes that we discussed.
Let's see. Were there any other concerns on the board?
The only other concern I have was if the patio was moving closer. I think I asked Mike and he said no.
Right, because you took the distance from the
Yeah.
side. Yep,
Not Mike, Tom, sorry.
correct. Yes, ma'am.
There was a request in this one, I believe, for them to
Oh.
put irrigation
Yeah,
in
no
the
irrigation.
entire lawn area, and I think we decided that we do not want it within jurisdiction.
Yeah, no irrigation in jurisdiction.
And they're also,
No, permanent.
Yeah, it's been permanent.
right, they're also transplanting 2 cedars, and one, a 4-inch and an 8-inch, I guess it is.
Correct.
And
You want a condition they must survive or be replaced?
well, I'm just looking, it's not entirely, I'm not sure they're in, I don't think they're in jurisdiction.
No, they're not.
So I guess we can't do that.
But they did acknowledge them on the plan that they did want to
Yes.
save them.
Yeah, I remember now, actually, I was asking if they could move them, even though they're outside jurisdiction, and they said they would. So, but I don't know that we can condition that.
I think this makes a really dramatic change on the property. It's going to really, it's going to make it nicer for the homeowner. It really is. Do we have enough information?
I believe we do.
All right, and take a motion.
Make a motion to close the hearing.
Actually, it's either to approve the order.
There you go. Make a motion to accept the order as discussed.
Second.
Okay, Michael's motion, Mary's second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstention? Unanimous, so moved. Next is 6 Pondlet
Let me do
Place.
this next second, okay?
This was the,
The garage.
construction of the detached garage and,
Selling room.
Yeah.
Selling room,
Going
yeah.
around in the big, and the majority of the project is Teresa's, it's, you know, the big coastal bank restoration.
Yeah, getting rid of all the happy crap.
Yeah, and once again, during the usual mandate that Teresa, you know, Blue Flags is responsible for doing the work, or another consultant has to come in
Come in
for
to,
you.
yep,
I didn't have any specific notes on this one of anything I wanted to see changed.
I have a note on here, and I honestly don't recall whether it was resolved or not, but about the wetland data sheets, did we receive those? They were not in our packets for the hearing, but maybe they're in the file at this point, I don't know.
Actually, I don't think she gave us the wetland data sheets, I'll have her bring those.
Okay.
I don't think I reminded her of that when I met with her the other day, so I'll have her bring those to us.
does that work for you?
That works for me, yes.
Okay. All right. If we,
Make a motion to approve as discussed.
Second.
Russell's motion, Mary's second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstention? Unanimous, so moved.
Let me get the next one.
Okay, this is Magansett Harbor, the shellfish.
The aquaculture grant,
Yes.
basically it'll follow the same conditions as all the other aquaculture grants, with the new condition that the harbor master would like to see, and it is compliance with, they have a particular marking criteria, what they want to see out there as far as floats go, and how these applicants mark their grants out on the water. So the last one I did for the amendment for Dan Board had a special condition that they comply with all of the harbor master's aquaculture regulations. So it's the only thing that's going to change from any of them. So basically the finding will be how big his branch is and, you know, comply with the storm management plan in case of a storm event. And that's it.
Just one question. Did we ever hear from Natural Heritage on this?
Yeah, they were fine.
Okay. If that's everything that we had requested and required, take a motion.
Move to issue the approval order as discussed.
Second.
Okay, that would be Mary's motion, Mario's second. And call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstention? Unanimous, so moved. Next is another motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Mary's motion, Russell's second. Motion to adjourn. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Vote, please.